Okay, so here on market research, these are all of the cities that you can then sort by how many rooms are currently active in the room, depending on what you're looking for. Again, there's always a guide at the top. And then this is a search to room ratio, so you can see how we calculate this. There's a growth rate. You can also see how we calculate this. And everything else is basically a direct pull from PadSplit. So you'll be able to quickly see these, whether you want to look at occupancy. So this kind of gives you a per city view. You can scroll down. They're ranked in order based on what's best for any given search. Example, looking at occupancy, Philadelphia currently has the highest occupancy. You can see the other items that are here, and the ones that are highlighted are the ones that that city is ranked number 1 for. So from there, if we click on a city, it takes us to a detailed view. So we can see that top level information kind of all at one by the city. We'll be able to find properties for our buy box, and you can simply click this. That will open up a buy box report, which you'll be able to jump to, and you can learn more about buy box reports on that tab further down in research, which I'll point out here will be one of these. Okay. This is a market analysis. So this is generated every month. You can see for this city how it feels about the data in comparison to prior data months, and then also gives you an overview of how co-living is seen by the city, whether it's so the market analysis here gives you an overview of the recent data as compared to prior months, as well as a deep dive into how co-living is viewed by the city currently. This will give you a nice lengthy report in detail. Depending on what account type you're on, you can ask additional analysis questions about the report that will update live. When you get down to here, this is a trends chart, so you can see overall how occupancy or any of the data points have changed for the city that you're looking at over time. As an example, you can see that days to first booking is improving in Philadelphia pretty drastically over the last 12 months. Monthly searches have mostly been increasing, recently taken a dip. But this allows you to see individual overcross data points, and this is updated monthly. Next, you can click on Google Trends. Sometimes this works. It depends on how Google Trends works across specific cities and how they store it. If you get this error, it's not an error in in PadPulse. If you get this error, it's not an error in PadPulse. It's just that Google Trends does not specifically go down to that city level at the moment. Otherwise, you'll see a city chart or a city so we can see that cleanly. Okay, here we can see in Tampa where I can overlay Google Trends, and this is essentially it tells you right here, this is searches for rent by room as an index. So you can kind of see how that has changed over time in relation to and on top of the data provided by PadSplit. So what's most important here compared to how you could look at it in PadSplit is if you looked on PadSplit's Market Insights, it would simply tell you how many searches are in any given month, which is important, but it doesn't tell you the true story of how that's improving. As an example, we're currently looking at Tampa. There's 111,000 searches on the PadSplit site for rooms in the month of June. And technically this is as of June 1st, so that's actually in the month of May, but that does the same trending here. So what's really this telling story is how much that has improved over the last 2 months. Definitely been a drastic improvement in demand, which will translate into more booked rooms, likely will translate into more active units in the long run. You can then see your weekly shared rates and how those have changed or not over time. And then a really cool function that is my favorite is you go to compare cities right here. And this allows you to see all cities on top of each other. So as an example, I'm just going to go ahead and see all cities that have 250 rooms or more. And this shows you all of them. And then you can simply click any cities that you are interested in seeing. All right, so once this is up, you can see this is our search to room ratio. Let me look at active units, and you can see over time how many active units have gone in any given month, and it sorts them based on the largest. So if one city changes, it will move up and down. Let's see, this is a good one where you can see upcoming units, and there's more variability in which city moves up or down the list. Currently, Atlanta has the most, which you would expect that they generally were just as a percentage, but it's important to see that. And you can see trends of shared rates and things like that. So this is really cool for a good way to help you decide on a particular market, look at different data, make your decision on where you want to go. You can always switch back to single show, single city if you want. And most of the time, you're going to come up here and hit Find Buy Box Report. Note that if you don't have your any Buy Box Report settings over here, if your settings are not set up and your underwriting defaults are not set up, it's going to throw an error and tell you that it can't run that search without having those items, and will direct you to what you need to resolve in order for that to work. Notably, on all of these, there's always a button for view on PadSplit. And if you click that, it'll jump you to the page that many of you may be used to on PadSplit for market insights for a specific city. Currently, all of our reports are at the city level. If you want to see anything in zip code level, which will also be used when you go into your underwriting, you can click around, or we'll drive you to the direct zip code link as needed during underwriting. But you'll learn more about that when you get to underwriting. As always, let us know if you have any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, or if you found any bugs that don't seem to be working. Please submit in this lower right-hand corner.